Hello everyone, welcome to the online tutorial from Vidhabhan High Secondary School. So today our topic of biology is class 10 reproduction. Okay, so what do you mean by the term reproduction? In class 8 also you have learnt about what is reproduction. So what is reproduction? Reproduction means that the formation of a new species of the same kind. That means a cat can give birth to a cat only, not a dog. Or a dog can give birth to a dog only, but not a buffalo or not a donkey. So the production of the new species of the same kind, okay, is termed as reproduction. Now, what are its importance? Why reproduction is necessary? Why we will perform that? First of all, to increase the number of the particular species in the environment. Second of all, so that if the number will increase, that means there is a less chance of the extinction of that species. Next is that to maintain the birth rate and the death rate of that species. So these are the general importance of the reproduction. So reproduction is mainly of two types in the plants and animals. There are generally two types of reproduction. What are they? Asexual and sexual. Another type of reproduction is there, that is called vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction. But at first we will mainly consider this asexual and sexual form of reproduction. So what is this asexual reproduction? Asexual, means absent. That means absence of the sexual form of the reproduction is termed as the asexual reproduction. Okay, so this asexual reproduction does not need two parents. That means it will not need the gametes to form the new individual. That means no two parents are required, only one parent is enough for the reproduction. Two parents are not required. Two different kinds of gametes are not required for the formation of the zygote or for the formation of the new individual species. So asexual reproduction is a form of reproduction in which two organisms are not required for the formation of the new species. Okay, that means the main example or the common example is amoeba, hydra, yeast. What happens over here? From the parent body, from the body surface of the parent cell or parent organism, a new individual develops without the involvement of any kind of gametes. This is termed as the asexual reproduction. There are many types of asexual reproduction. Now let us first go to the sexual reproduction. So what is this sexual reproduction? The sexual reproduction means over here it will require two parents and it will require two types of gametes. That means the male gamete and the female gamete, both the gametes are required. These gametes will come together to fuse with each other, and after this fusion what will happen? The new zygote will be formed. This zygote will grow into a individual baby. Okay, so this is the thing. That means sexual reproduction means involvement of the gametes. Two parents are required. These two gametes, the sperm and the ovum, will come and fuse together and will ultimately form the zygote. That means fusion of the gametes required. So this is, so what is the main point of difference you can say? First point of a sexual reproduction, it does not need two parents. It is uniparental. Okay, and in case of sexual, it is biparental. Obviously two parents are required. Number two, that involvement of gametes are not required. Involvement of gametes in sexual reproduction is highly required. Number three, that no zygote is forming in case of asexual reproduction. Zygote do form after the fusion or the fertilization of the egg cell. Okay, so these are the main points of difference of asexual and sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction can be seen in higher animals and plants. So till this much I think you are having no as such problem. Now moving on to the next part is that the types of asexual reproduction. What are the types of these asexual reproduction? Okay, at first we will go to the fission process. What do you mean by fission? Fission means to break, right? Fusion means to join. That means two simple substances come together and join each other. This and form a complex substance. This is called fusion. But a simple substance or simple cell divides into two or more cells. That is the process of fission. So we will first go on to the process of fission. Fission is also a type of asexual reproduction. It is seen in amoeba. Primarily it is seen in amoeba. Now fission is again of two types. What are these types of fission? Binary fission and multiple fission. Multiple fission. So what is this binary fission? If I can describe you like this. So this is the amoeba, irregularly shaped. What will happen? Starts constricting. This nucleus will also start to constrict. In the next step, the constriction will deepen further, thus dividing the nucleus into two parts. That means two nuclei is already formed. Next step, what will happen? This constriction will again deepen further and will form the two amoeba. So two daughter amoeba formed from one mother amoeba. So this is the entire process of binary fission. Understood? Bi means two. So the fission that is helping in the formation of two amoeba from one mother amoeba, that is the binary fission. Now coming to the next topic, that is the multiple fission. Multiple fission, what happens? So during unfavorable condition, what happens? This amoeba creates a wall, a three-layered wall around itself to protect itself from this harsh environment. Okay, this three-layered wall is termed as cyst, C-Y-S-T, cyst. Okay, now within the body of the amoeba, the nucleus of the amoeba, it is having one nucleus. The nucleus of the amoeba divides further repeatedly, okay, and producing from one nucleus, multiple nucleus will be formed, and it will look like this. Suppose this is the amoeba. This nucleus is actually forming so many nuclei. See over here, the nucleus is actually forming so many nuclei. Okay, and I think you people can see the nucleus is actually dividing to form so many nuclei, and the cytoplasm within the amoeba will actually cover up each of these nuclei like this. Like this, the cytoplasm will actually cover up all these nuclei within the amoeba. Now what will happen? On returning of the favorable condition, this wall or this cyst of the amoeba will actually rupture. That means the wall will actually break up, thus liberating the amoeba or these spores. Okay, these spores outside the structures. So now each of these, now next what will happen? Each of these spores will actually form or grow into a new amoeba. So this is called multiple fission. Why multiple? From one amoeba, so many amoebas are forming. That is why it is termed as the multiple fission. The next topic will be
ready.
So the next type of asexual reproduction is the budding. You have heard this term budding. It is primarily can be seen in hydra and yeast. What happens? A bud-like outgrowth actually happens in the body of the parent. Suppose this is the parental body, or normally you can tell this is hydra. A bud-like outgrowth will actually be taking place. This bud will actually grow in size. And when this bud actually grows in huge size, the parent plant or parent body cannot bear its weight. So this bud actually detaches from the mother body and fall on the ground, and ultimately the new individual will be forming. It can be seen in yeast, hydra, these are the things. Next topic is fragmentation. What happens in this fragmentation process? It is seen in the Spirogyra. It actually look like it is having filamentous body. Okay, and filamentous body, what happens over here, at some region the body of the Spirogyra breaks down. See, you can see 1, 2, 3 parts. So each of these parts will now be forming each of the Spirogyra. That means how many Spirogyras we can have from one Spirogyra? 3. Understood? So 3 Spirogyras will be forming after breaking of the mother Spirogyra. So this is the another process. Next process is the spore formation. What is this spore formation? Spore formation. Spore formation means spore. Okay, that is formation of the spore. You have heard about bread mold. Bread mold means the algae that is growing, or the fungi that is growing on the bread. We actually say that the fungus has been grown on the bread, so don't eat that bread. That fungus is termed as rhizopus. Okay, what it looks like, the rhizopus is actually looks like this. This is the sporangium, this is the sporangiophore, and these are the root-like structures, rhizoids. Now this sporangium or the spore sac bears some black color dotted structures. These black color dotted structures are the spores. Now when this sporangium gains the ultimate maturity, what will happen? This wall of the sporangium will break off. Okay, it will break off, and these spores from this sporangium will come out into the atmosphere, and from these spores new bread mold or new rhizopus will be forming. So this is the type of a sexual reproduction termed as spore formation. So I think till this much you people are not having as such problem. Now moving to the next part. So after the discussion of the spore formation, there are actually 4 types of spores: aplanospore, zoospore, heterospore, homospore. So what are zoospore? That means the motile spores. What is motile spore? That means the spore that can move. Those spores are termed as zoospore. Okay. The spores that cannot move, that are non-motile in nature, those spores are termed as aplanospore. What are homospore and heterospore? The term homo means looking similar. Okay, that means the spores which look similar with each other, they are termed as homospore, and the spores which look different to each other, those are termed as the heterospore. Now next topic is the regeneration. Regeneration means regenerating some parts or something. Okay, it can be seen in planaria. Regeneration can be seen in starfish also. What happens? Suppose any of the part of the planaria is being missed out or is being cut out, then that part can be regrown from the original body, and that part of the planaria which is being cut off, that part will also be grown into another new planaria. So this is termed as regeneration. That means regenerating the part or regenerating the entire body. That's why one arm of the starfish is being cut, then the arm of the starfish can be again regrown. Understood? So this is the types of the asexual reproduction we are having. Next, moving to the next topic. Next topic is the vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction. Okay, so the reproduction that is being taken, this type of reproduction is mainly be seen in the plants. That means the reproduction or the type of reproduction in which the vegetative parts of the plant are being involved. What are the vegetative parts of the plant? Root, stem, leaves. These are the vegetative part that is termed as the vegetables. Okay, reproductive part are mainly the flowers and seeds. So vegetative, from this vegetative part, a new plant or a new plant generation can be created. This type of reproduction is called vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction. Now vegetative reproduction is again of two types. What are they? One is natural, another one is artificial. Natural means taking place naturally. No man-made external influences are required. Okay. Artificially means we are taking the charge in our hands. We will go into the artificial reproduction later on. Let's first concentrate on the natural. Natural vegetative propagation is done in three ways: root, stem and leaf. Okay, so the natural vegetative propagation by root. Okay, so by root, so what happens in case of root? You have heard about sweet potato. The roots of the sweet potato produces adventitious buds. These adventitious buds grow in size and ultimately produce another individual of the sweet potato plant. So this is by the formation of root. Next, coming to the stem. Water hyacinth, it's an aquatic plant. Okay, water hyacinth. The stem of this water hyacinth actually goes very much horizontally, and at some regions this stem or this water hyacinth produces a tuft of roots, adventitious roots, and from those adventitious roots what happen? A new water hyacinth plant will grow on. Next, coming to the leaf. This example you all of have seen in other classes. Bryophyllum, the term bryophyllum, this is a name of a plant. This bryophyllum possesses the leaf like this. Now on this leaf margin what happens? Some small bud, adventitious buds grown on this leaf margin. What happens? These buds gradually grows in size, and ultimately a time will come when this leaf cannot bear the weight of these buds, and ultimately these buds will detach from this leaf margin and will fall on the ground, and from these leaf buds new bryophyllum or new plant of the bryophyllum will be produced. So these are the three natural ways by which vegetative propagation can be done. Now moving to the artificial vegetative propagation. So there are three types of artificial propagation or artificial vegetative propagation is there. What are they? Cutting, grafting and micropropagation. Now we will first go on to the cutting. Cutting means you are cutting a portion of the plant. That can be a stem, can be root, can be leaf or anything else. In case of China rose or in case of rose, what happens? We are cutting a portion of the stem. Now those that cut stem or that part of the stem which is being cut from the plant, that stem will be inserted into the soil. We'll put some manure, we'll put some water, we'll take care of it, and a new plant will grow up. So this is the process of cutting. Next is that grafting. What is this grafting? Grafting includes two types of plants. Okay, plant A and plant B. Now there are two plants. This is plant A. This is plant B. Both the plants are being cut at this point. Understood? Now, see, both the plants have been cut. Upper portion of both the plants is being cut. Now, what will happen in the next step? This is plant A. The root portion of the plant A is being kept. You can see the root portion of the plant A is being kept, but the upper portion of the plant A is also being cut down. This upper portion of the plant A will be replaced by the upper portion of plant B. How? A small cut will be there in A and similarly in B so that it can fit. So that means this will look like this, right? And similarly this plant B will be having this thing, right? And this is being done. This portion of B is being placed over A, and it is being surrounded by wet cloth or by manure. It is being by soil, by adding soil, manure, water, a wet cloth is being surrounded and attached at this surrounding. Okay, so this root portion of the plant is termed as stalk, and this upper portion of the plant which is to be placed on this stalk is termed as scion. So stalk and scion. So the scion is grafted on the stalk. Okay, over here the characteristics of the stalk will be maintained. The characteristics of the scion will not be maintained. Okay, so this process is termed as grafting. Okay, number 3, micropropagation. Now what is this micropropagation? Propagation means to propagate, that means to produce in huge number. Micro means very small amount. So this is a process in which what happens, a very small amount of the tissue or of the plant tissue is being taken. It is being cultured in a nutrient rich medium, and ultimately a new species or a new individual will be formed. Understood? So what happens, a small portion of the tissue will be collected, it is being cultured in a nutrient rich medium, and it will form a mass of cells. That mass of cells are termed as callus. What is callus? A mass of cell which is formed after treating the particular tissue from the plant in a nutrient rich medium. That group of cells is termed as callus, C-A-L-L-U-S. Now this callus will form or will be forming further to produce plantlet, small plant. Okay, this plantlet is being formed. Now next, what is the step? This plantlet will now be transferred to the soil so that the plant can be grown enough. So this is the entire process of micropropagation. That means by taking a small amount of tissue from the plant, we are growing an entire plant. This process is very cheap. It is giving a huge range of production. Okay, it's very time saving, so it's very much useful. Okay, so this is the process of the micropropagation. Now next, what we will do, next topic is alternation of generation. What is alternation of generation? Just think about it. We are the organisms, we are having diploid number of chromosomes in our body, but we are producing what type of gamete? Haploid gametes, right? That means from diploid it is being reduced to haploid. Now these haploid gametes, the ovum and the sperm, will again unite together to produce what? To produce a diploid zygote. So from diploid organism, haploid gametes are being formed. From haploid gametes, again diploid organism is being formed. So this from diploid to haploid and again haploid to diploid, this is termed as the alternation of generation. In your book, this is being done by the example of fern. What diagram of the alternation of generation in fern or the Dryopteris? That means from the plant body is diploid sporophyte, then haploid spores are being produced, and from these haploid spores, what are being produced? Again the diploid sporophytic plant is being produced. This is in your book as the example of the alternation of generation. The definition is very much important as well as the word diagram. So till this much this chapter is done. Next we will start with the question answers of this chapter. I think till this much you people are not having as such problem. If you are having, then please do let me know. So till then you people please be safe at home and take care of yourselves. Thank you.